Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Earl, aka Devin, aka Earl, and today I asked ChatGPT to give me 50 hot takes when it comes to wrestling, and I actually got this idea from my homie BAG of Bones MMA. Go check him out on YouTube if you haven't seen him before. And he did the same video, but he asked ChatGPT to give him 50 hot takes when it comes to MMA/UFC, I think. And yeah, he's just a homie. I asked him if it was cool if I borrowed the idea, and he said, yeah, of course. So let's get into it. Alright, yeah, so as you can see, I just said, give me 50 wrestling hot takes. It says, absolutely, here are 50 hot takes about professional wrestling covering WWE, AEW, fans, booking, legends, gimmicks, and the business itself. These are bold, funny, sometimes controversial, and perfect for debates, tweets, or promo-style rants. 50 pro wrestling hot takes. Let's go. Number 1. Roman Reigns should have turned heel 5 years earlier. We wasted Prime Tribal Chief. I get what they're saying. I wouldn't say we wasted Prime Tribal Chief, because, I mean, a lot of wrestlers are in their prime still when they're in their 40s. I mean, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels had their best match when they were like, what, 43 and 44 each, and WrestleMania 25 is the one I'm talking about. Or even 26, whichever one you prefer. I prefer 26, but I know a lot of people prefer 25. I will say that I'm kind of in between on this one, because I get what they're saying, because yeah, he wasn't the greatest face, but at the time he didn't have the mic skills yet. So I mean, either way, even if we would have made him Tribal Chief 5 years earlier, he still would have needed that mic work and promo work. So I think we actually waited till the perfect time, because he was fully developed, and the Tribal Chief, throw up the ones, felt very fitting for him at the time, and it just made sense. I don't think we wasted Prime Tribal Chief at all. This next one's actually pretty funny. Number 2, AEW has more factions than it has storylines. Not gonna lie, they're cooking with that. They're actually 100% right. There's not really much more I could say. I mean, AEW's not known for having storylines. They stick more to just wrestling itself, and they put on great matches. I'm not hating on it at all. I'm just saying they don't really focus too much on storylines. But they definitely probably have more factions than they do storylines. This next one I kind of don't understand necessarily. Number 3, The Undertaker retiring after riding a motorcycle to the ring was the real dead man gimmick. What?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Anyways, moving on. This next one is also kind of confusing. Number 4, they put CM Punk is both the most overrated and underrated wrestler, depending on who you ask online. Isn't that kind of the case with any wrestler? Because, like, just who people have as their favorites and who they, like, worship. Not worship, but, like, could you say that about literally anybody? I don't know. I guess I agree. I don't know. I don't know. Next up at number 5, we got 90% of dream matches are boring without a good story. I don't necessarily agree with that. Like Roman Reigns and The Rock, for example, there's a story there. You know what I mean? Who's the real Tribal Chief and all that crap. Or even like Hulk Hogan and John Cena, like the GOATs. You know what I mean? Like there is a story there. And then the ones that don't have a story is because the match never happened. So there would be a story. I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping and I'm being too literal with ChatGPT. But like, there would be a story though. That's kind of why they're dream matches. Is because it never happened and there wasn't a story for it to happen because it didn't happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too literal with ChatGPT. But next up at number 6, we have WWE doesn't make stars anymore. It just recycles merch. These are definitely hot takes. I mean, I don't agree with that. There's plenty of stars in the WWE, young, old. It just depends on how you look at it, I guess. Homegrown stars, maybe not a ton of them, like just straight from WWE, but I mean, that's kind of the case wherever you go. Most wrestlers aren't really homegrown. A lot of them do come from another company. But saying that they don't make stars anymore is kind of wild. But then again, I don't know. I kind of agree. Like I said, I kind of agree with this one. Because technically, I guess you could say they don't make stars anymore. But like technically, nobody necessarily does, I would say. I'm probably being way too literal for ChatGPT. But next up at number 7, we have Logan Paul's better in the ring than half the roster. Sorry. Loki, I hella agree with that. Me and ChatGPT on something here. I'm not Logan. I'm not even a fan of Logan Paul. But I can admit that he can wrestle. And he wrestles a lot better than a lot of people in the company. Like, I mean, to be fair, he does rely on a lot of like flashy moves, but a lot of flashy moves are hard to do. It takes a lot of in-ring work. And even his I don't know. I agree with this one. That's all I'm gonna say. I agree with this one. At number 8, we have the real forbidden door is WWE's creative department, and I low-key agree with that. I feel like they just hold themselves back and put like weird limitations or rules on themselves that don't need to be there and are just made up. And I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how to put it. They could be doing so much more. Like if you've seen my video the other day, the collab with TNA could be so much bigger, so much better in my opinion. And they're just, with so many different things, it could be a lot better and bigger. But they hold themselves back because they put like weird rules on themselves, it feels like. I don't know. I definitely agree with that one. At number 9, we have every wrestling fan thinks they could book a better show, and most of them can't. And I 100% agree, especially on like the internet wrestling community. Like on Twitter, you always see people right now like, Triple H can't book for shit, he sucks. Bring back Vince. Like, why is bring back Vince trending? Like, no. Let's please not do that. You guys not remember like 2017ish to 2021? That was hell. Like, no, I'm good. Don't need Vince back. But then yeah, everybody just likes to act like they could do better than Triple H or do better than the people that are in charge, which some people can. Like, I think my friend Jacob from Really Real Wrestling, I definitely think he could be part of creative and offer a lot, and he has a lot of great ideas. But a lot of wrestling fans think they have a lot better ideas than they do, and like, nah, I 100% agree with this. ChatGPT cooked at that one. At number 10, we have Triple H buries more people in his speeches than he ever did with a shovel. ChatGPT trying to be funny, I see. I guess you could say that. I don't necessarily agree. I feel like we see Triple H talk a lot more than we did Vince. Like, we saw Vince come to the ring and play a character, but we see Triple H actually as like the head honcho in charge. We see him do like press conferences. That wasn't a thing when Vince was around in the WWE. So we see a lot more from Triple H, so I think that's probably why people think he buries a lot of people in his speeches. Or I mean, like, ChatGPT thinks he buries people in his speeches, but I mean, in his speeches is just a weird way to put it too. But no, I don't really agree with that one. I think it was just ChatGPT trying to be funny. Number 11, wrestling Twitter is more toxic than a heel locker room in 1997. That's 100% facts. Wrestling Twitter is terrible. It's toxic. It's literally one of the worst communities for sports or entertainment to be a part of, or even, bro, they've scared away celebrities because like the fans are just so fucking like weird with how invasive they are, I guess I'll say. If you were paying attention recently, Roxanne Perez was like getting weird details spread around about her. The whole thing with Rhea Ripley and what they say about her and like Triple H, not to like bring it up, but yeah, 100% agree. Wrestling Twitter is 100% toxic, and bro, just looking at Twitter and looking at the responses and all that shit, just looking at anything wrestling related is just, you'll be shocked. If you know, you know. At number 12, we have Kenny Omega is either a wrestling genius or a human video game character. No in between. And low-key, I kind of agree in a weird way. Like, he almost even looks like what a human video game character would look like for wrestling, or a wrestler, if that makes sense. Maybe it's just me, maybe I'm tripping, but I kind of see what ChatGPT is saying here. I would go, why can't he be a wrestling genius human video game character? Did you think about that? At number 13, we have the Intercontinental title has more prestige than the Universal title. Yes and no. If you really break it down, there's some people who won the Intercontinental title who had no business winning the Intercontinental title. But then same with the Universal, like fucking Jinder Mahal and shit like that. So I guess I could see what they're saying. And I like the Intercontinental title more than the Universal, so fuck it, I'm gonna agree with ChatGPT on that one. At number 14, we have heel Seth Rollins over face Seth Rollins every single time. And I don't know if that's a hot take. I think everybody would agree with that. And if not, then I'm kind of surprised. Heel Seth Rollins is where it's at. Yeah, 100% agree with that. I feel like most people would agree with that. I don't really know if that's a hot take or not. I would say that's not. At 15, we have NXT Black and Gold was the best wrestling product of the 2010s period. That might be a hot take, but I'm 100% riding that hot take with ChatGPT. 100% facts. The Undisputed Era, bro. Some of the matches too. Sami Zayn when he was NXT. Even Cesaro, his run in NXT. Bro, there was some banging matches. Even Rhea Ripley when NXT in the 2010s, 100% cooked. 100% agree. The NXT Black and Gold, even that title, one of my favorite titles with the big X in the middle, bro. Tough as fuck. Number 16, we have most AEW matches are just flips with no selling. Impressive, yes. Compelling, not always. 100% agree with that. I'm not the biggest fan of AEW because a lot of it is just flips, not a lot of selling, and just not necessarily a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot going on, but kind of feels like for no reason almost. I don't know. Maybe you could say I'm not a real wrestling fan because I just want stories. Or not just want stories, but because I want stories. But I low-key 100% agree. It is 100% impressive, though. I could never do it. I mean, no chance. No chance I'm doing any of that stuff that they do. But it's not compelling. There's not like, ooh, what is he going to do next? Is he going to do a triple-double backflip? You know what I mean? Like, I 100% agree. Might get backlash on that one, but I agree. Number 17, WWE commentary is 80% brand slogans and 20% actual commentary. I low-key kind of agree with that, especially right now with TKO, bro. There's so many commercials, so many ads. Even the commentary, it's not, a lot of times it's not genuine. It's almost like pre-planned stuff, or like, I don't know. I agree. Number 18, we got Brock Lesnar as a final boss of wrestling, whether you like it or not. I get what ChatGPT's saying there, but I feel like that's more so what Vince McMahon wanted, is for Brock Lesnar to be the final boss of wrestling. But I just don't think he is. I truthfully would say right now it's Roman Reigns or even John Cena. I mean, the never before seen 17. How can you really say it's Brock Lesnar? Like, I get it where they're coming from because he always comes in and fucks people up, but that's just something Vince mainly wanted. Like, that was more of a Vince trope and a Vince idea. And thank God that Brock probably is not coming back for a while. Hopefully never. At number 19, we have This Is Awesome chants that become participation trophies. I 100% agree. I mean, you'll hear it at every show now, especially a WWE one. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, don't matter the show, you'll hear This Is Awesome chants. And I get it because a lot of times, I mean, there is parts where it's quote unquote awesome or whatever, you're having a fun time, I get it. But it just does a played out chant. It's kind of boring. It's kind of like the what chant now. And I think the US crowd, we need to work on something better and more fun. Because, like, there's a reason why we just hopped on the European audience's train and just took all their fucking chants. Because those are a lot better, more fun and entertaining and just catchy. So I definitely think these are participation trophies, and I 100% agree. At number 20, we have Tag Team Wrestling deserves main event status, not bathroom break booking. I 100% agree. I think Tag Team Wrestling used to be so special back in the 2000s, and now it's just not looked at as important or as fun as it used to be anymore. And there's still a lot of great tag teams, maybe even some of the best tag teams we've ever seen before. I don't know, we don't really get the chance to see it as much as we should. I mean, shit, a few weeks ago, the Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, and I forget the other tag team put on a fucking TLC match on SmackDown, and it was a banger. Like, tag team wrestling is sometimes where it's at, and sometimes could be the best matches on the show if they book them right. I mean, think about the Lucha Bros when they were in AEW. Some of the best wrestling matches I've ever watched were the Lucha Bros, and it was in AEW. It's tag team wrestling could be so much bigger and more special than what it is, and it should be main event status, and it deserves it. And I 100% agree with ChatGPT on that one. At number 21, we have women's wrestling is better now than it's ever been and still underused. I 100% agree. Most of the times when there's like a woman Royal Rumble and a men's Royal Rumble, or then there's the women's Money in the Bank and the men's Money in the Bank, most of the time recently I've been enjoying the women's matches a whole lot more, and they still barely get used. There's not as many women matches on the card as there is men's matches. Or even at WrestleMania, they should have put Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega on the card. Even if Zelina won the title at WrestleMania, I mean, that gives her a huge WrestleMania moment. That makes the women's US title look bigger because it's on a WrestleMania card. I don't know, some of the titles that they gave the women, or some of the things they do for the women, almost just feels like a, here, damn, like, shut up. Like, they're just trying to get us to shut up. And it's like, no. The women are putting on banging matches, and also, in my opinion, with women wrestling, there's more potential for the storylines there than there is with a lot of the men, because men's wrestling has been the limelight for fucking ever. Like, we've seen it all. I mean, there's still shit that we haven't seen, obviously, but like, with women, there's just so much we haven't seen or got to see, and I feel like we should see more of it. I 100% agree with that. At number 22, we have MJF is a better heel than most legends ever were. Depends on the legends we're talking about. But I can agree, MJF is a great heel. It's kind of gotten played out, though. They've kind of lost touch with it a little bit on AEW the last, like, year, I'd say, maybe. But MJF is a great heel. I mean, not really much else I could say. I kind of agree with that. At number 23, you have John Cena was never the problem. Creative was. On that one, I agree and I disagree. I love John Cena. My favorite wrestler of all time. I know, but I'm a little Jimmy. But there's even accounts of wrestlers agreeing and saying that low-key John Cena made the wrong choice because it was his idea, or he was the one that decided to go with this. So I mean, sometimes Cena was the problem, and he's even kind of admitted it and saying, like, I wish I'd have done things differently when I look back on it. So yes and no, Cena wasn't the only problem, but he was definitely a problem as well. And number 24, we have Rey Mysterio deserves a Mount Rushmore spot just for still doing this at 50. That's definitely a hot take, especially because I think, there's only 4 spots on the Mount Rushmore to be exact. The Luchador Mount Rushmore, obviously 100%, I would agree with that, but, I mean, who even is the Mount Rushmore? Like, John Cena, obviously, is on there, for sure. And then people like Randy Orton, you can make an argument for. You can make the argument AJ Styles, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels. I mean, I don't agree with that at all. I think that's definitely a hot take. At number 25, we have Charlotte Flair gets pushed like her last name is McMahon. No, she gets pushed like her last name is Flair. It's the same difference at that point. I mean, shit. Charlotte Flair, they took her last name and instantly were like, yep, she's going to have the most women's titles of all time. Yep, she's going to push. I like Charlotte Flair. I think she's an infinity and beyond times better wrestler than her dad ever was. And I think she's one of the greatest women wrestlers of all time. So I definitely think she deserves to have been getting pushes that she's gotten, but not as much and not as many title shots as she's gotten and shit like that, and reigns that she's gotten. Like I said, they'd seen her last name and were like, oh yeah, her dad has the most title reigns, she has the most title reigns. Which I kind of get the appeal there, but I agree with ChatGPT on that one. At number 26, we have the Bloodline storyline is the best thing WWE's done since the Attitude Era. It's one of the more interesting. It's kind of gotten played out a bit, especially because like how many people they keep adding and shit like that. But it's definitely been one of the most interesting and best things that they've done in a long time, or just since the Attitude Era. It's not the number one, I would say, or I don't know. There's just things like Nexus. I mean, they ended up getting booked badly at the end, but I get what they're saying there. At number 27, we have Kofi Mania was lightning in a bottle and WWE dropped the bottle. Yes and no. He got to win the world title. He did get a push. It could have been a better reign and stuff like that, I guess you could say, but I mean, at least we got it. I mean, I don't think if you would have asked us 10 years ago if we thought we would have got something like Kofi Mania, I think we would have said no. So I don't think they necessarily dropped it, but they could have definitely done more with it. I definitely get what ChatGPT's saying. Number 28, we have Ricochet is the most underutilized talent in the business. Yes and no. He's doing decent right now on AEW, but he doesn't have the mic and heel skills that he just wants to have. Sadly, he's a great in-ring talent, fucking one of the best probably in-ring right now, but his promo skills, his mic skills aren't the best. So I wouldn't say most underutilized, but he definitely, I guess, could be doing more. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that one. At number 29, we have Bray Wyatt had the best creative mind, and WWE never trusted him enough. I 100% agree. Maybe not number one best creative, but because I don't want to hear that in the comments, but he had one of the best of all time without a doubt, for sure. I've never seen somebody take their character and develop it in the way that Bray did. Like, that shit was insane. Creating the Fiend, like, that was one of the most over, and dude, they just completely fucking destroyed that character. That could have been one of the biggest things in wrestling of all time, and they just fucking took a fucking shit right on it. Like, Bray Wyatt definitely had one of the best, if not the best, creative mind, and WWE did not trust him the way that they should have. And I bet now, seeing how things happen, they fucking regret it, and they should. That's just sad. That's extremely sad. R.I.P. to Bray Wyatt, a fucking absolute goated legend. At number 30, we have most ladder matches now for like a checklist and not chaos. Yes and no. I mean, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match past Saturday was pretty chaotic. The women's match, there was a couple botches, couple moments that didn't hit the way they were supposed to. But I don't know, maybe I'm biased because I love ladder matches, are some of my favorites. So I don't know, but I don't necessarily agree with that. Number 31, commentary hasn't been the same since JR and King. I liked King and Michael Cole together. I thought they were great. So I think they did a good job carrying on that legacy for a bit and doing their own thing, you know? But yeah, I definitely don't like Michael Cole and Pat McAfee together. I just don't really like Pat McAfee. I think he gotta go, bruh. So I kind of agree, but I think I would say after Jerry the King and Michael Cole, I think that's when it hasn't been the same since then. At number 32, we have the real GOAT debate is Shawn Michaels versus Bryan Danielson. Not really sure that's a hot take. I think probably most people would say that or something along these lines, so not necessarily a hot take. I think most people would agree. At number 33, we have Edge's return pop at the 2020 Rumble was louder than most WrestleMania main events. I fucking would probably agree. That pop was insane. That's probably the best return of all time. It was fucking unreal, unheard of, unseen. Like, that shit was fucking bonkers. I would probably agree with that one. At number 34, we had Ronda Rousey had the worst heel run for someone with legit credentials. I kind of see what they're saying there. I probably would agree with that. I like Ronda Rousey. I thought she could have done a little bit more with the WWE, but I don't think she necessarily respected it enough or liked it enough either. So I probably agree. Number 35, we had The Miz deserves more respect. He's carried mid-card gold like it's world title prestige. I 100% agree. The Miz is a GOAT. Obviously not top 5 or nothing. Not actually the greatest of all time. But The Miz deserves a lot of respect. In my opinion, him and R-Truth are just two legends in their own outright way. They've done so much for the company when they could have been doing a lot more with other companies, or even just in general deserved a lot more. So I 100% agree that The Miz deserves absolute most respect. He is a fucking legend. At number 36, we have AEW needs more storytelling and fewer 5-star matches. We kind of already touched on that earlier. I wouldn't necessarily say 5-star matches are a bad thing. They need fewer of them. If you can get a 5-star match, go ahead and do it every single time. Why not? But I would agree that they could use more storytelling. We already kind of talked about that, though. At 37, we have WCW didn't fail because of talent. It failed because no one said no to Hulk Hogan. I feel like that's already a pretty well-known thing. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think everybody would agree, and everybody already knows that. At 38, we have the current product is better than the Attitude Era Wrestling. What people miss is being 13. I kind of agree with that. I see why they would say the Attitude Era Wrestling was a little bit better, or why they missed it and enjoyed it, because it was just fucking balls to the walls. Anything goes, anything can happen in the best way and in the worst way. So I get why people miss that feeling. But if we're just breaking down wrestling and storytelling in general, just that part of it, it's so much better right now. The wrestlers are doing crazier moves, better moves. Even in AEW, I know it's all about Attitude Era and WWE, but even in AEW, the wrestlers just wrestling right now, the wrestlers right now can just do so much more and are a lot more in-ring talented. But I do get the whole missing the just anything goes of Attitude Era Wrestling. I wasn't there to watch it. I'm just saying I get why you would miss that. But I would probably say most people do just miss being 13. At 39, we have Tony Khan needs to hire a booker. Being a fan isn't a strategy. I mean, it's definitely a strategy, and it's gotten him somewhat far. I definitely think he could use a booker or some help possibly if he doesn't have any help. I would assume he does. But yeah, being a fan isn't the only strategy that's going to work for him, I guess you could say. I just think they need more storytelling. I don't want to keep saying that, but I personally, as a fan, I would like to see more storytelling. They choose to not focus on that. That's what they choose to do. And they don't have to just worry about appealing to fans like me who want to see storytelling. They have their fan base. They could grow it if they were to focus on storytelling and maybe hire a booker, but if that's not what they want, it's not what they want. Being a fan is a strategy, and it's working somewhat for them. So, I don't know. At number 40, we have Sami Zayn should have won the titles in Montreal. That was the moment. I 100% agree. I would even say Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are probably some of the most underutilized wrestlers. They should have been winning titles a lot more often and being world champions a little bit more. I think they have the fans on their side. I think they have the talent on their side, and I think they have the promo and mic abilities too. So yeah, 100% agree with that. At 41, we have wrestling doesn't need blood every week. If everyone bleeds, no one pops. Yeah, sure, I agree with that. I wouldn't say that's a hot take. I'd say probably most people agree with that. I don't know any show that's probably making people bleed every week. Maybe AEW is. I don't watch it every week. But yeah, I don't know. I probably would agree with that. I think that's probably right. And at 42, Cody Rhodes breaking the throne was cool until he reassembled it in WWE. I guess I get what they're saying there. I don't know. I think WWE he finished the story. I mean, you can't hate on that. You can't blame him for wanting to come back to WWE, especially with all the history his dad had there and all the unfinished business he felt he had there. So I think it was cool him reassembling it in WWE, but I get why they would say that. At 43, if Dom Mysterio is getting better heat than half the main eventers, I feel like that's just a fact. I don't really know if that's a hot take at all. I think that's just a fact. At number 44, we have the Young Bucks are great wrestlers with zero storytelling outside the ring. I low-key kind of agree. They're not really good storytellers. They're not the greatest EVPs, I would say, either. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think most people would probably agree with this too. I don't know. Maybe that is a hot take, but I think most people would agree with that. At 45, we have Sting should have won at WrestleMania 31. End of discussion. Yeah, that was just kind of a waste to bring out Sting, have him have a WrestleMania moment just to lose. But I mean, I get the whole NWO and DX thing that they were trying to play into, and obviously DX and WWE was going to end up on top again because fucking Vince McMahon, but I definitely think Sting should have won, especially he had that badass entrance. So yeah, I definitely agree with that one. At 46, we have having belts on every show doesn't make them prestigious, it makes them props. I kind of agree, but also not necessarily. I just think you have to obviously book them correctly. You have to make sure you're booking the right champions, you're putting them in the right type of matches, you're putting it on the line, making sure you got to just make it feel special. But if you just have a title and you're not doing any of that, then yeah, it is just going to start feeling like a prop, like almost like Liv Morgan's tag title. In my opinion, they do put that on the line. They just lost it and won it back, but like for what? Like that was kind of pointless. To me, that tag title, for example, feels like a prop right now. So I kind of agree to a certain extent. And at number 47, we have people who say wrestling is fake still cry during Marvel movies. Shit, man, I still cry during Marvel movies. So who you judging? No, I'm just kidding. I would agree with that probably, though. I mean, people who say wrestling is fake is just kind of annoying because not necessarily cry during Marvel movies, but you enjoy Marvel movies and those are fake, or I don't know, you just enjoy fake stuff too. You enjoy scripted stuff too, and yeah, it's just a dumb take to have. At number 48, you either die a hero in WWE or live long enough to do comedy matches. I don't agree. I don't even know who they could be like really referencing there. I can't think of anybody who's like had comedy matches because they stayed too long in the company or didn't die a hero. I don't know. That's kind of maybe let me know down below, but I don't necessarily agree or know who they might be referencing. At number 49, we have the Royal Rumble is still the most fun match in wrestling, even when it's bad. I mean, when it's bad, you feel like you kind of just wasted your time, didn't you? But no, but I would say definitely the Royal Rumble is still the most fun match in wrestling, or at least the most exciting. It's what gets, I've said it before, it's what gets people back into wrestling yearly or whatever. Like right before WrestleMania, it's Royal Rumble. That's the pay-per-view people start watching again and watch leading up to WrestleMania, and then they stop. You know what I mean? So Royal Rumble definitely just has that pull. It's definitely just exciting, and I would agree on that one for sure. And then at number 50, the final hot take. Let's see what we got. We have the greatest wrestling theme song of all time. Stone Cold's Glass Shatter, You Felt That in Your Bones. That's a hot take. I do not agree. The Glass Shatter is fire. I mean, you do feel it in your bones, but the greatest wrestling theme song of all time? I would even say that's fucking top 5. I might get hate for that, but really? The greatest? Over like this Fire Burns, Cult of Personality, Burning My Light. Yeah, I don't know about all that. But that's definitely a hot take, and I don't agree with it. But yeah, anyways, that's been ChatGPT. It gives me 50 pro wrestling hot takes. Make sure you go check out Bag of Bones MMA, my best friend's YouTube channel, and his video that he did the same thing. Like I said, I got the idea from him, but he did it with UFC/MMA. So yeah, make sure you go check that out. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Anyways, I've been your boy Earl, aka Devin, aka Earl. Peace.